10 things pros do that you don't in CS2. Everything from how to be useful when you're low HP to different ways to bait with sound cues for free kills. If you're not sure you can trust me, I'm Louis, a 3000 elo player on Faceit who competes in LAN events around the world. I added timestamps in the description below so you can skip ahead or revisit any tip that you like. If you see this character right here, you might be wondering what is something that pros do that I am looking at right now, and it's the show utility. Especially if you're playing solo queue and people aren't using mics and you don't know what utility your teammates have, being able to see this and their health is very, very important. So if you go over into your settings, you can see that the show team ID through walls is right here, and a lot of people may have this turned off where they're not able to see anything through the walls. As you can see, I have a teammate over here in B app, but I can't see his health or what utility is on his belt. So if I wanted him to fake B and then we execute A, I would have to ask him what utility he has, and then I would have to ask my teammate right here what utility he has. And to make this a lot simpler, all I need to do is enable the pips names health and equipment, and then I can see what utility bot Harvey has, and then I can also see what bot Ulysses has as well. Now, a bait and switch setup may be hard for some people to understand, but it's very simple if I explain it in this way. So let's say that we have the bomb planted on the B bomb site and I want to play close market door, but I also have a teammate sitting here at empty pillar. One thing that I could do for a nice bait and switch setup is simply hold market window close right here. I can get my free kill and hide, and then my empty player would now peek, and I am now baiting him because this is a bait and switch where at first he's going to be baiting me, and then we're switching the bait where I bait him because these people are going to be running out once they know I'm close market, and he's going to get a lot of free kills. So if you ever notice that you can hold one angle anywhere on the map, even towards a ramp, where if I have a teammate that is sitting here close to a ramp and then there's someone playing in this corner, this player can sit here and hold this angle. He can get his free kill fall, and then this guy gets his next kill, and then the ramp player will then get the third because you're just constantly baiting and switching. That it's just going to be a constant back and forth, and this will definitely guarantee you a lot of free rounds. Now, something very important that every single pro does is that when flashes pop in the air, players will say boom. Now this is important because especially in a place like mid on Mirage, a lot of times CTs will just be flashing over mid constantly, especially if they want to fight. So if you're flashing your teammates out mid on the T side, it's very hard for your teammate to know which flash is yours when it pops, especially if you don't call when it throws. So if you call when it pops, he knows exactly when to swing, and he doesn't even need to listen and try to find whichever flashbang is yours. He automatically just knows because you're going to tell him when it pops. Now, a lot of good comms too is when you flash, you'll just say like it's in the air and then pop. So then they know that the flash is coming. They can get ready to peek whatever they're trying to peek, and then they can swing when they hear pop. Now, before we go over how to bait enemies into peeking you while you have an op, let me tell you about the Monkey. Skins Monkey is a CS2 skins trading site marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about Skins Monkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that has equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade, and if you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description. Thank you, Skins Monkey, for sponsoring this video. Now, something that Muncie has actually started doing in the pro scene is that he's using a decoy to bait his fake op shots. So places like Dust 2 Suicide or Mirage and Window, if there's no window smoke, Muncie loves to drop his decoy grenade, and after the first shot, he will peek out towards mid because a lot of players will think that that is an actual op shot shooting towards mid, and they think that they can take space out mid on that shot because obviously when an op shoots, he has to hide after just because he can't instantly shoot again and he has to repeat. So a lot of T's think that that shot right there is going to give them space, when in reality it's just a fake shot from someone in window, and Muncie is actually really good at using this and utilizing this. Now, the only downside to this is that a lot of people will be smoking window, which is why it works the best on Dust 2 Suicide, but there is also a lot of other places that you could be using this. Or maybe you're on retake and you know that someone's playing empty, or maybe they have a nice bait and switch setup. You can just drop your decoy, let the op shot shoot, and then just hold for this guy swinging because they think that they can take space once that shot happens. So something that pros are really good at doing is faking sound cues. Now, one example on Mirage of a fake sound cue is that if you're in a 1v1 clutch on the B site, let's say we just rush B, we know the last CT's here and you're in B apps. A lot of times, players that are actually smart, especially pros, they will wait empty pillar or missile pillar knowing you're in apps, especially if the time is low, and wait for you to drop and then peek when you are dropping. So one thing that you can do towards upper B is to fake this drop sound, make them peek, and then get a nice free kill. Now, B site isn't the only place for this to happen on Mirage. You can also do it over here towards stairs, or someone maybe bottom stairs knowing that you're over towards Tetris and trying to bait. You could easily just make this fake sound cue of jumping, and then he's going to be clearing you on stairs, trying to wrap you, trying to do this 200 IQ play, when in reality you're just still sitting here on Tetris. Now, if you're newer to Counter-Strike, you may know what a jiggle peek is, where you're sitting here just with your shoulder just jigging out anyone that is trying to peek you. So what a lot of pros actually started doing instead of jiggle peeking is they started to do the Valorant jump peek. So if I wanted to peek anyone towards connector, they do this this nice little jump, which is very, very important because my body, when I'm peeking this, is up high instead of being low. So if there is an opper holding for the jiggle peek, which a lot of pros expect, they will get a free kill just on this guy just showing his shoulder. If you're tired of dying behind walls or dying like that, like the pros are, it's very important to practice the Valorant jump peek and just try to master this as well. And the most important thing about this peek is that I don't even really need to see or try to look at the angle. It happens so fast, but if I do see an enemy, the question mark will pop up on the mini map, which is very important because all this is just getting information. So something really important that pros do a lot that I know noobs don't is play anti-flash. So one spot that I personally love to play anti-flash that I also see pros do is that when they smoke ramp, what they'll do is they'll look at the ground at the smoke to look for any feet that are coming through, just because it's a very common flash for people to throw this lamp flash right here. And if you're looking at the ground when this flash is thrown in the air, you're actually not going to get blind. So if I were to rethrow the last grenade and I'm looking at the ground like this, you can see I'm not getting full blinded by the flash, because if I was sitting right here and I wasn't playing anti, you'll see that I'm getting full blind. I'm going to die instantly. And what else is very important, especially on the B site, is that you really only know the only flashes that can happen are through this window right here. So you just don't want to be exposed to that window and play close to walls, especially when it's time to execute. And one way to know that it's time to execute is by looking up here at the clock. Most teams are going to be calling to throw at 30, 25, 20, anything that ends in a 0 or 5, because that's the easiest to tell their team. They're not going to sit here and say line up and throw now. They're going to be telling them an exact time. And what people are most comfortable saying is something that ends with a 0 or a 5, because that's the easiest for their team. So when the time does start to get really low, you want to look for those times, and that's when you want to play anti and try to listen for those grenades. Now this next one may not really make sense to you guys, because a lot of people love to just have the low HP guy run out and have them bait. But an old pro that I used to team with, aka Nifty, who used to play on Envious and Renegades, actually taught me this trick. And it's actually the low HP guy will bait anyone going out. So let's say, for example, that it's a 2v2 and we want to walk out ramp, and we know that there's someone towards stairs in Tetris. So instead of the low HP guy going out first and just instantly dying, and then my teammate trading to make it a 1v1, it's a lot better if my low HP teammate actually baits the full HP guy. So if we know this guy is towards jungle or stairs, the low HP guy is going to be holding for this guy to peek. So the full HP guy is going to be walking out trying to find this kill. And when he's walking, this CT is going to be looking for info. I get the free kill, and now it's a 2v1. Now it's important that the low HP guy does play angles like this that makes him hard to hit, or maybe he's playing headshot angles like holding stairs or holding the big stairs swing, or he's kind of in a forward position still at a headshot angle holding for this guy going to swing bench. And I know this may be kind of new for you guys because you know the low HP guy is usually running out, but at the higher rank, it's actually the lower HP guy that's baiting, which is one reason why they invented the Bogdan law. It's because the guy with the lowest health on your team is going to pick up the op, so he can sit back and just hold angles and play a little bit more passive, just so he doesn't give his life away, because the number advantage is really big in Counter-Strike. Now this one is really, really important because a lot of times you're going to be retaking in the pro scene, but if you are in maybe a solo queue pug or a solo queue premier game, retaking may be happening a lot just because your site teammates don't know what's happening. So it's important that you guys are dropping extra flashes in spawn as CTs, especially, just so you're able to use nades at the start of the round and then use these for retake. Let's say I'm the B anchor and I'm just jump spotting, dropping my utility, I'm throwing my molly, maybe I'm using my smoke, and then I'm helping flash over mid for my teammates. Now after I flash over mid, let's say after 10 seconds they say they're executing A, I actually have no nades at all, but if I run through spawn, I can pick up 2 extra flashbangs and help my teammates retake the site. So I can come over here, I can flash over bench, I can flash ramp for my guys towards CT to run out and peek if they do have an op. There's a lot of good things that you guys can do. Now if you are in the lower rank, I do recommend that you guys do really understand this tip, but it's reading utility. So let's say, for example, that there's just a simple top mid smoke in mid, and maybe there's just one flash out mid. If I am a CT playing towards mid and this is all I see and hear, I know that they're not going to be out mid because they really just used one flash. You guys need to be able to read utility and really understand what these grenades are telling you, because in reality, if I am a T and I'm trying to get someone out towards boxes or mid, I'm not just going to be throwing one flash. I'll be throwing 2 of my flashes behind box and to his back, and then also the guy running out mid is probably going to be flashing valley as well, so I should be expecting about 3 flashes. And if I do read the utility right and this round happens and I do see that there is 3 flashes, or if I just hear, I know that there is 2 top mid. So being able to read utility is going to give you numbers on the map, and it also tells you where people are. Like for example, if they smoke late window from spawn, obviously I know this guy is towards T spawn, and if I heard one towards the underpass and there was upper B pressure, I know that there's 2 towards the B side, there's 1 in T spawn, and that means there's probably 1 behind boxes if they're throwing the window smoke really, really late, which means we can take space over towards the A side. So just understanding that utility does give numbers on the map will definitely help you guys understand the round a lot more. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this guide on holding angles in CS2 by clicking the video on screen now.